Hi guys. Um, my presentation is over receptive and expressive language. The reason why I chose this is because we do assessments in our class, and when we're going over our findings with parents, sometimes they don't understand the difference between receptive and expressive. We try our best to explain to them that expressive is something that they're coming up with on their own, and receptive is more they're able to point and identify something. So I put this together so that way we could actually print this out and use this to talk to our parents about what the difference is. So here we go. What is receptive and expressive language? Receptive language. Children acquire receptive language first when they understand and do what you say. An example of receptive language is the ability to follow simple instructions. When we are doing our assessment, we will have 4 pictures up on the screen, and we ask the child, can you show me which one of these pictures is a tree? If the child does that correctly, then we move on to the next portion of the assessment. How do I know if my child has a problem with receptive language? Does the child have a hard time listening to the language being spoken? Does the child find it hard to sit and listen to a book? Does the child have a hard time following directions that other children his or her age are able to follow? When asking the child a question, does he or she respond with the last word that you said instead of an answer? When the child gives an answer to a question, is it strange or unusual for the question that was asked? All of these vary depending on the child's age. Objectives for receptive language development. Expose children to a rich source of new vocabulary on a regular basis. Provide children with opportunities for following directions. Allow children the opportunity to associate the language that they hear with pleasure and enjoyment. Offer children the opportunity to listen to others and demonstrate that they understand what is said. Expressive language. Children acquire expressive language by emulating adult models, interacting with others when using language, and experiencing positive reinforcement for their efforts. An example of expressive language is the ability to tell their wants and needs. In our assessment, we will ask the children to identify a picture that's by itself. We would just ask, what is this? We want the child to be able to form that word on their own and be able to say it's a fire truck. How do I know if my child has a problem with expressive language? Does the child have a hard time naming objects or items? Is it hard for unfamiliar people to understand what he or she said? Does he or she have a hard time retelling a story? Does the child use made-up words in their sentences? Does the child use shorter sentences than other children his or her age? Again, this depends on their age. Objectives for expressive language development. Encourage children to pronounce words correctly. Encourage children to communicate with others so that they can be understood. Help children increase their speaking vocabularies. Give children opportunities to expand their use of various syntactic structures such as adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, dependent clauses, plurals, past tense, and possessives. Language is the major system by which meanings are communicated and expressed in our world. It is best understood when it is related to some meaningful context. Language is learned through use as a part of our daily activities, more than from direct instruction. Activities. Teachers Pay Teachers has several free activities that you can download to encourage development of receptive and expressive language. Reading picture books is also another good way. File folder games are fun to play, and you can just ask your child questions and talk with them daily. Here are the websites to a few of those activities. And here is my reference page. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I look forward to seeing yours.